This episode of The Biggest Table is brought to you in part by Wild Goose Coffee. Since 2008, Wild Goose has sought to build better communities through coffee. And for our listeners, Wild Goose is offering a special promotion of 20% off a one-time order using the code TABLE at checkout. To learn more and to order coffee, please visit wildgoosecoffee.com. In this episode, I welcome longtime friends from Park City, Utah, Nyesha, Tanisha, and Sharon, who run 11 Hauz, a Jamaican restaurant. They discuss their journey from Brooklyn to Utah, their Jamaican roots, and the rich confluence of cultures that defines Jamaican cuisine. The conversation also delves into the family's deep faith, the humble and resourceful upbringing led by their grandmother, and their mission to bring authentic, non-processed, soulful Jamaican food to Park City while spreading love and the teachings of Jesus. They share stories of their vibrant cultural heritage, the significance of hospitality, and their desire to foster open, authentic connections within their community and at their restaurant. Enjoy the episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Biggest Table. I am your host, Andrew Camp, and in this podcast, we explore the table, food, eating, and hospitality as an arena for experiencing God's love and our love for one another. And today I'm thrilled to be joined by my old friends and good friends from Park City, Utah, Nyesha, Tanisha, and Sharon, who own and operate 11 Hauz Restaurant in Park City, Utah. And so thanks for joining me, you three. I'm excited about this conversation and to, explore Jamaican food and hospitality. So thanks for joining me.
Yes, Andrew.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Yes,
Yeah.
happy to be here.
So first, you're a Jamaican family that lives in Park City, which is not, I don't associate Jamaicans with snow in Park City. So what led you all to Park City, Utah?
So the journey begins with me, Sharon, Mama.
Yeah.
Just, working, living in Brooklyn for over 20 something years and working and coming to Park City for a job. I end up loving Park City and decided to bring my family out here.
Nice. Yeah. And we all met at Mountain Life Church in Park City.
Yes, we met in Mountain Life Church, and we have been in Mountain Life Church, I think, since 2015.
Okay.
Around that, and we still go to Mountain Life Church, even though you're not there.
2015?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Felt earlier than that, but who knows? I can't keep all the dates track.
2007.
Well, I got here 2006, but I didn't start coming to Mountain Life until 2015.
Yeah, so we went to Mountain Life before my mom decided that she wanted to go to Mountain Life. So, yeah.
Gotcha. No, I understand. Yeah. And so then, you were doing some catering, and then you guys took the deep dive into owning a restaurant. And so what led to this restaurant idea and the craziness besides the craziness of Mama Sharon?
So the restaurant begins at age 6. I was 6 years old when I started cooking for my siblings.
Like what?
Cooking for my siblings, okay?
Okay.
My mom worked, my grandmother worked, and I was home as the big sister cooking for my sibling.
At 6.
At 6 years old.
Wow.
And so I'm always cooking. I came to America, I'm always cooking. People love my cooking. That I didn't really say I wanted to open a restaurant, but then I realized, having a restaurant in Brooklyn would be great. But then that didn't happen because we decided to come to Utah. And then while I was working and traveling, I would cook for the family that I work for. And my daughters, they were here cooking and entertaining guests.
We were.
While I was away working.
Well, that's the thing. I think it all stems from New York. In New York, we always cooked, whether it was New Year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. We were always cooking and inviting family and friends over, and we would have these big parties. And we're like, we're always cooking all the time. Mom's always cooking. Why don't we just make some money from it?
Right. Yeah.
So that's where it started, Andrew, for her when she was 6, because of course she's the elder sibling taking care of everybody. And it just blossomed here in Park City because now we actually had the time to dedicate to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so then Jamaican food, we don't, it's not a cuisine we probably think a lot about. And so what what are the roots of Jamaican food, or what encapsulates some of what Jamaicans love to eat and cook?
So I think the root of Jamaican food is going to be Asian infused,
Hmm.
African, as
Right.
well, Spanish and Indian. So you have to remember too, so a lot of people don't know that the native language of Jamaica, when Jamaica first came about, was Spanish.
Okay.
We were colonized by the Spanish. So they're right there, a lot of Spanish spices in Jamaica. Okay. And then of course the Europeans came in, they took over. And then, so you also had African slaves that were sent to Jamaica, Irish. We had a lot of indentured servants that came to Jamaica. So we just had a medley of different cultures. That's why our motto is out of many, one people. So out of all that many, I said Indian too. And so out of all that many, one people, this is where all the different spices, flavors, and all the different fruits came about.
Right.
Wow.
And then we have the Chinese.
Yeah.
So much culture in
And when
Jamaica.
Christopher Columbus came over, and because they say he discovered America, when the Taino Indians were there,
Tainos
before the Spanish
Arawaks.
took over,
Yeah.
they brought over a lot of different plants from China and all
Africa
different
as
places
well.
in Africa, because they said Jamaica had like the best
Best
soil.
soil.
So they planted up all these amazing trees and fruits, which came from other countries like China, Africa, Spain, right? And we flourished. So this is where we get all those, different flavors, spices, and stuff like that.
Interesting. I didn't know about all the confluence of cultures.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of influence. Yes.
So then what, with this confluence, like, is there something that gets to the heart of Jamaican food? You have this huge confluence, but there's also, it seems like Jamaicans have this great soul and being about them. And one thing that's always attracted me to your family is just this liveliness and this generosity. And so and maybe it's just you guys and the joy you bring, but it feels like there's something about Jamaica that just wants to enliven and bring people up.
Oh, it's a
Very
beautiful, it's a beautiful spiritual place. And I mean, we grew up very poor. When I say very, very poor, I mean, when it would rain, we would have to get different pans and, our buckets and put it down so that the roof leaking, the water would get caught. We used chimneys. We had pit toilets. We slept sometimes 4 or 5 to a bed.
Wow.
So I think we have the spirit of humbleness. And we're introduced to God in our life at a very, very young age. We're introduced to discipline, principles, and morals, values, family values very early on. I mean, we had to do house chores when we were 3, starting at 3.
Yeah. We got to make sure we clean that bathroom right, and the pot's got to be clean, because if that pot is not shiny, you're going to have to go back and do it again.
Or you get a whooping.
You get a whooping. You have to learn to clean, yes. Yeah, and when my daughter talk about the zinc, it's galvanized roof. That's what we grew up on. And if in the restaurant, have you noticed that we have this galvanized in the restaurant with the wood window and the wood tables? So that's what our house was made of, was wood sidings and the galvanized zinc, which we call it zinc.
Yeah.
And in America they say galvanized, and that's it. And if there's a hole in the roof, then you just got to put a bucket there when it rains to catch the water. But
we didn't really worry about.
And we didn't worry about that.
We didn't worry about the fact that we didn't have anything, like we didn't grow up with toys. We had to make our own toys.
Yes.
So you had like this box juice that we would drink, like a milk carton, and then we would take the soda tops and we would add wheels to it, and then we'd take a hanger and we'd like put it in the box, and then we'd make our little cars.
Yes.
And so we just come from a society where we were just born with being humble because we didn't have a lot. So we had to use what we had, to kind of get what we want. And we had no TV.
And we have no TV, no social media. All we had was the Bible.
Bible.
grandma on the Bible, and grandma would say, if we have one banana, it's gonna serve for everyone in the house.
11 of us.
For everyone that's in the house. And my grandmother, she was a provider. We have no men in our lives. Women is who provide for us in our family. And the girls' toys were a mango. We have mango in Jamaica, mango time. You get like a mango seed and you suck it till it's really dry. And then you take the hair from the mango and you plait it, and that's your doll. And you make little two eyes and the mouth and everything, and that is your doll. So that was beautiful. It was just beautiful, and we weren't exposed to other stuff, so we didn't really
want for anything. We were happy with.
We were just happy. Music. Lots of music,
lots of food,
lots of prayers. Okay, grandma always praying, and that's what make us have such good faith, because grandma always praying.
And we were Seventh-day Adventists too. We weren't going to a Christian church. It was
it's Christian. It's religion. It's religion.
I feel like it was a little bit more strict than being
right.
like Christianity.
Yeah. Yes.
So we had to literally Fridays at 6:00. We had to stop everything, all playing, all chatting, all the way till 6:00.
All chores,
all chores.
Very like
go to church all day.
Yeah. So when you say why are we the way we are, I just think it's because we had to count on each other, and we had to be happy with what we had, and we had to make use of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And that use of everything, and that, out of many things comes this beauty,
Right.
And then that, I think, translates to who you guys are as chefs and restaurant owners. And what then, as you think about Jamaican food, like a lot of people only know jerk chicken,
Right.
And so like and as I say that, you're sort of shaking your head like this is a shame that we only know about jerk chicken. So what?
Because it's what we're known
Jerk
for.
chicken and Bob Marley.
And Bob Marley.
Yeah, right.
It's what we're known for. What was your question?
So then, but there's more, right? Like I've had beautiful
more.
curries, I've had beautiful
Right.
oxtails, whole
Right.
fish. So
Right.
like, what's you've talked about the confluence of cultures and all this, spices, and so what is Jamaican food today?
So we have ackee and salted cod, which we said saltfish, and that is the national dish of Jamaica.
Right.
Okay.
And then we do steaks also, but I think for us in our family, steaks was special.
It was rich.
It was rich food.
We couldn't afford it.
We could afford it only at Christmas.
Yeah.
Only at Christmas, or when grandma gets paid, because my grandmother was a chef also. And so when she get paid and decided to buy something special, she probably might get us some goat, some meat, and we'll have that for dinner on Sunday.
Right.
But during the week, it will most likely have a lot of cabbage, lots of vegetable. We ate it was more vegetarian during the week. And on Sundays, we might have chicken or sometimes oxtail or some goat. But, it's...
Yeah, like she said, we ate very vegan during the week. And on the weekends, we ate the more
elaborate
food, because we, like Tanisha said before, we grew up very poor, so we couldn't afford to eat the elaborate food every week.
And we always had leftovers.
So we would cook the good food on a Sunday, and then during the week it'd be like cabbage with rice or dumpling and butter.
No, not rice. But the thing is, rice we would always cook on Sundays.
Okay.
Rice.
Okay.
And so what we'll have is ground food, the food that comes from the soil.
Earth. Potatoes,
the ground food, like yams.
Potatoes.
Like a white yam, yellow yam, the green banana, all that was, and vegetables, and pumpkin. All that's the good food right there. But people look at it in Jamaica in those days, they were like poor people food. But it's not. It actually, as I grew up and I saw me now living in America, and all I'm eating is pure rice, roasted rice, because I cannot get that ground food that I need, especially living in Utah. And that food was very nutritious for us.
It's also food that gives you energy. It gives you, it's you know, they call it stamina food. So you think about it, you get this big pot, you get your potato, your pumpkin, you know, your flour where you're kneading your dumplings. There's also Irish potato, you get your yams, whether white or yellow. And then you put a big pot of water on.
And you boil them.
And you strip whatever you need to strip. And then you throw them all in the pot, even green banana. You add just a little bit of salt and you cook it all down. There's no oil in it. There's no butter. It's rich with nutrients and things that just come straight from the earth to a boiling pot with just a little salt.
And grandma would drink that water. She wouldn't throw it away. It would not be wasted. She would drink it.
I'm like, I need that water.
Yeah.
So, it's, living and growing in Jamaica is so beautiful. It makes me humble even till today, living here in Park City.
And it makes you appreciate food that is not processed. I think that's what it is. That's your question too. So, ackee and saltfish is our national dish. Normally that's served with what we're talking about, which is the ground provision. That's what we call it. Also Jamaicans love corned beef, which I think you guys call it spam. Some sort of spam.
They call it corned beef.
Is it corned beef?
Yeah, we have corned beef, but yeah, there's spam too in the markets.
So corned beef was like our thing that we would do with corn or cabbage. We also love cucumbers with like the salted cod with tomatoes. Majority of our dishes that we make in Jamaica,
we eat a lot of fish,
very
also
fresh, non-processed, straight from the trees to the pot, the market
seed to the pot.
Just straight
from the sea to the pot, like our fish. My uncle was a fisherman, so grandma would go get fish,
and it would be red snapper, yellow snapper, stuff like that. Mackerel. We also love mackerel in Jamaica. Our chips were chips that we took fresh green bananas, and you slice them really thin, and then you would fry them,
and you put a little salt on them, and you get like a plantain chip.
Our dessert used to be the cornmeal, the cornmeal pone,
and the sweet potato pone, and we have all of this
cornmeal pudding, our cornmeal pone. And the sweet potato. That was our sugar.
Yeah, and we have a majority of this stuff in the restaurant, apart from the ground provision in the boiled pot, which I was speaking about, and then also the banana chips. So there's just so much more to Jamaican
and the coconut
and food,
and fresh coconut, not the one in the can,
not can or powdered.
Fresh coconut, not powdered. Yes.
So obviously we don't like processed foods.
No.
And so that's in the restaurant. Our motto is
authentic.
Our motto is we would not serve you anything that we would not eat.
We won't feed you what we can't eat.
We won't feed you what we can't eat ourselves.
Yeah.
No, that's such a beautiful thing. And your food is, again, just reminiscing about, your food. I'm like, we don't have Jamaican food in Flag. And so I'm like, man, I could
put a pot.
I know. I need some of that jerk chicken, or oxtail soup, or goat curry, because you guys even do like that whole fried or a whole snapper or escabeche, right?
Yeah, escabeche. Yes, it's just like a vinegary sauce
with the onions and the peppers, and that's a patient man's food. Like on the menu, it says if you can't handle it, don't order it.
Because we're not taking the bones out for nobody.
No.
So with the escabeche fish in Jamaica, we didn't have a refrigerator.
Right.
And so we need to cook up that sauce and pour it on the fish. So if it doesn't finish that day, we can eat the leftovers the next day.
Because the vinegar preserve
the fish.
Yes. Okay.
We didn't have a refrigerator.
I
didn't grow up with a refrigerator. My first refrigerator was when I came to America.
Or iron.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't have an iron either.
Okay.
The ones you put on the hot stove.
The cold grill.
And then you wipe it off and iron clothes. That's how we have it.
Okay.
No electricity, just an oil lamp.
No functioning toilets.
And also she's like you said, no electricity. We had those
gasoline,
kerosene lamp.
kerosene lamps. That's what we use.
Okay.
Yeah. From like what, the 1900s?
Well, yeah. No, but for like the beauty of where you have come from, the humble orientations, and just that hasn't defined you as a family, but rather this joy and this love.
Yeah.
You
Makes
know,
you everything you have.
right. And it spills over.
Mother.
Your
Oh, that
grandmother.
my grandmother, she taught us to love each other.
Hmm.
And she's the one that she will take in family. If a family is homeless, my grandmother will take in family. So I live with so many different people, so many different cousins would
Wow.
pass through because their parents say, go to your grandmother. And my grandmother would take in every one of her grandkids,
Hmm.
and help them, and then they will move along, and then someone else will come along again. And that's what teach us to be very helpful and to be kind to people because of my grandmother.
Wow. And would you say that hospitality idea is prevalent through Jamaica? Like, and obviously it's unique to your story, but what is Jamaican culture in general a hospitable culture where it's
Yes it
I think
is.
so.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I think so, but I also think times are changing.
Time
No,
has
Andrew.
changed,
So the way we grew up and the way that
It's not
our
the same.
kids are raised, the way we are raised, it's not the same. So I think just like when you meet anyone, you just have to judge their character according to your values and your morals. But I would definitely say we are a kind culture. But times are changing, so you never know sometimes what you're going to get.
And judge their character by the Spirit too, because that Holy Spirit lives in you, so He can tell
Yes.
you like
The
"Hmm,
frequency
I got
here
this
is,
person, the energy is kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
no, for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, just what to understand Jamaican culture and what, how has that influenced you guys and how you do your restaurant, and because I think there is, to learn about food is to learn about who a people are,
culture. Yeah,
and to
Yes.
learn about culture, and so it's just a fascinating look into, what who are Jamaicans, and obviously you're unique and the food tells a unique story to your
Yeah.
family.
Jamaicans are good people. Like Tanisha was saying, before anyone came and colonized Jamaica, the Taino Indians were there,
Hmm.
which also the Arawak. I believe they were called Arawak. And the Spaniards came over.
Mhm.
And then after that, they started to bring Black slaves over from different
Irish
parts.
slaves.
Irish slaves. These are like prisoners.
Yeah.
They
the
needed
worst slaves.
somewhere to send them, so they sent them all to Jamaica.
All to Jamaica. And then
Huh.
after that, actually, so then the Mongols are basically the Black slaves that rose up to fight for their right as, to
For
be
freedom.
free, for freedom.
Mhm.
Okay.
We're a mixture of many culture, Jamaican people.
Right.
We have a lot in us. And one thing about Jamaica, you have more churches than schools.
Hmm.
So many more churches than schools.
So you have to know that every Jamaican household, someone in there goes to church.
I
Okay.
think everybody goes to church.
Yeah, we're forced.
We're forced.
This
We have
is-
no
We
choice.
have to.
We have
It's a
to.
Okay.
part of growing up. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
the spiritual, God, Jesus is a huge part of growing up in a Jamaican culture. And I really think maybe that is definitely what keeps us so
Grounded.
passionate, grounded, and loving, because we have to try our best to live through the Spirit of God, taking everything to God, not allowing the human flesh to take us over. Which, I mean, sometimes it does because you're human, but at least with the Spirit, that good Spirit, we know that, okay, wait, we have to try again. Let's stop. Let's try to be better,
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is.
And I feel like living in America too has influenced us
Yes.
as a family, because in living just in Jamaica could make you very one track minded, but when you live in other places, it makes
traveling.
you think
Mhm.
differently, have different perspectives, more empathy, stuff like that. Because Jamaicans we go through so much that we could be very hard and cold at times. But we're good people, but
Yeah.
your life trials can create someone else.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
That's
Yeah.
why it's able to protect your heart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, like that idea of rising up above the circumstances, rising above, the oppressions of slavery.
Right.
The
You just said it. What Bob Marley said it. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds.
Because it starts in the mind.
Yeah.
If you think back, yes, we had physical slavery, and I'm sure we still have it in certain aspects across the world. But right now, it starts in the mind of every individual. If you can really free yourself from your thoughts.
Yeah, dangerous place.
But the only way you can free yourself from your thought is by asking Jesus to help you. Yeah.
For sure.
You just gotta
Take it in prayer.
Jesus, take it to him in prayer. You have the comforter who helps you go through all these things. Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like both cultures influenced us. But Jamaica was our foundation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so as you've lived in Park City, you've been influenced, but what do you hope you can bring, to Park City, I guess, where you guys are now? Like, what do you hope you as Jamaicans can bring to others?
More Jesus, diversity,
and also
good food,
and also more boldness within people, within the culture of saying what you mean and saying how you feel, and being authentic in a graceful way, and not feeling as though maybe you have to walk on eggshells or tiptoe. Like, who are you truly? What is your authentic self? Let's all sit here and love each other and be authentic and not get too caught up in the words of others or the way they made us feel. Let's look at both sides of the coin, just so that I could be myself and you could be yourself, and we can just love and teach one another. I think Park City is missing that a little bit because we have like that Hollywood kind of like facade, kind of, you know what I mean?
It's a very rich
keeping
place.
Up with the Joneses. It's like,
Yep.
I have to have this look about me. And it's not about the look about you. It's about
your heart.
Yeah, your heart, and how you really actually treat people, because then that's the way you'll get to know people.
So basically, we want you to not be passive aggressive.
Yeah. Like, I would rather you tell me how you feel and, be angry, because anger, I think, is healthy as long as no one is in danger and it's not, violent. Yeah. But I think people need to be able to express themselves
authentically.
Yeah, and that can happen over a good conversation, over a good plate of food.
That's true. Yes. And we talk about God a lot when we're serving people.
Yeah.
We let everybody know this is Jesus's
restaurant. Because 11th house is angel house. Because 11 is an angel number. And house, that just represents
family.
House, family. So when you really think about it, 11 house equals angel house. You're safe here. Come in, eat, spark up a conversation. We don't have any TVs in there. Talk to the person sitting next to you. Once again, in reality, in life, let's all start socializing and talking to each other without getting distracted from the screens.
Or from the phone.
Just turn it off and submerge yourself into social living, getting to know people and accepting people for who they are.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem with the world. We tend to want to judge other people according to them, but we don't want to do the inside work.
Yeah.
Because the hardest is to look within you to say, hey, something's wrong with me. I did something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So our hope is to bring people to Jesus, serve them good food, and hopefully bring out that authenticity and make them laugh. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I love what you just said, because it sort of ties back to that Bob Marley quote. Which,
from mental slavery.
Emancipate yourself from the mental slavery, just because we're so quick to look at others and judge them in today's society.
Oh gosh, yes.
We don't need to go into that. I think everybody knows. All of our listeners will know that. But to have that conversation, to be open, and to be open to surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I love too your food, because if you order the jerk chicken, it's not going to be neatly cut like how most white Americans want it.
No.
None of your food is like there's the bones, there's the whole animal.
If you don't like bones, there's a problem. You probably shouldn't even come.
You need that marrow in your system, okay?
A lot of people say, "Oh, bones." I'm like, well, maybe this is not for you. This is me being authentic.
Yeah, right.
Because we will
You
not.
know, because we ain't taking bones out for nobody.
No, no.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it's just that whole bird, and it's just being
Whole
open to
bird.
the surprise.
Yeah. And it helps with your jawline. People are wondering what's going on with their jaws in this world.
Because
And
you're
their
not working
teeth.
out your mouth.
You're not working your teeth. You need to nibble on a little bone here and there. Don't swallow it, but nibble.
Give a strong jawline.
Get that strong jawline.
Yeah, and if the world ends, you know what to do with the bone.
Exactly. Let's happen that something start happening in this world, and you can't have your meat perfectly cut. You should be able to fend for yourself and know that, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna have this pretty little piece of meat here on my plate.
People are spoiled. People are spoiled.
Park City spoiled.
Take my bones out. I want that gratification instantly.
Right.
Well, I'm happy you enjoy the bones too. Like, I'm happy you like to get messy with our food.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you can't help, when you
Yeah,
serve me oxtail soup and there's, if anybody's ever tried oxtail, like there's no neat way to eat that, like,
no neat way. Just pick it up with your fingers. It's okay.
yeah,
You
and
don't
that
need a
gravy.
knife and fork.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in African culture too, they eat with their hands.
Right.
Yeah, they have a formal hand and an informal hand.
Okay.
With your hands.
What did people do when they didn't have utensils back in the days? They were licking fingers. Feeling good.
Throw down your guard when you come into our restaurant and just enjoy the music and enjoy the food. We don't care if you want to eat with your fingers. It's okay. You could eat with your fingers.
A lot of people.
I love that. I just love when I see people just eating and just don't care. But please, just wipe your fingers on the napkin, not on the table, not on the table.
Yeah.
Then you give me more work to do to go take those gum off and all those greasy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and your restaurant's not big, and so tables are close, and so you really are wanting to bring people together. Like you said, it's
Right.
you want people around your table at home. It's sort of hopeful. Your restaurant seems to be an embodiment of who you guys want to be as a family.
Yes.
So get close to your counterpart.
Yeah.
Get close.
Talk to the neighbor right next to you. You never know. You might have so many things in common.
Exactly.
Just let's speak. People need to start talking to each other again.
Instead of being
Yeah. Wow.
We'll give you a mouthful.
A mouthful, but it's great, because I think it is. There is something beautiful about the culture.
yeah, if you don't get us talking, we can't shut up.
No, and that's the best guess, right? I want the story. What's the story? What's the story that needs to be told, for people to hear today as we gather around the table? And that's the whole point of this podcast, is what happens when we gather around a table, whether that's in our own personal homes or whether it's in a restaurant opened by people who love culture and love food. And so I think so much can happen if we're open to it. And that's what I love about your guys' story is you're inviting people to experience maybe something new, and to be surprised and to hopefully maybe bump elbows, rub shoulders with new people, and get to know your neighbor a little bit better.
Yes.
And sometimes a lot of people may come into the restaurant and they have all these problems on them. And you talk to someone next to you, or you may talk to one of us. We might be able to give you a word of encouragement, pray for you.
Yeah.
Because that's who we are. We pray, we give you encouragement.
Yeah, we lift people up. We try to, at least. Yeah.
I can honestly speak that whenever I ate your food, I was lifted up. Maybe
You felt the love, right?
I did. No, right. And obviously, we got to know each other, and seeing kids grow up or, things happen.
Yeah.
Life changes, relocating.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Visiting people.
Nice.
visiting people in the hospital. You know, I've had the privilege of visiting Sharon in the hospital.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. You did.
That was like the
That's
first
when
year
we first opened. Not even 2 months.
The devil is a liar.
He's going to seek to destroy.
There was no reason to be in the hospital because it was just like it's just a freakness that happened, and we don't know what really happened
The devil is a
until
liar.
this day. But you know, God is always in control.
Yes.
You
And
know?
here you are.
And here I am.
Yeah.
Here you are. And you're going strong, and you're still spreading the love of Jesus and Jamaican food and culture.
Mhm.
We need to come down to you and cook a whole pot.
Oh man, come on down. We have a guest room. We have one guest room, but we can find places for you to stay close by.
Now, are you ever gonna come back to Park City?
Maybe to visit. You know, I want to get back to visit at some point.
But not to live.
Not to live. We love Flagstaff.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
You know,
And it's nice and cool down there in Flagstaff, right?
it is. Yeah. Much like Park City. It's a, you know,
Yeah.
our summers are very similar. We get a little more rain during the summer, but it's a good place to be.
I heard that's a place that I need to visit because I was like, I don't like it down there. It's so hot. And then someone was like, no, have you ever been to Flagstaff?
Yeah.
The weather is
Is
amazing.
this Arizona?
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yep. Huge Ponderosa pine forest. So you know, we're hiking in our backyard, you
We
know,
need to
all the
bring
time.
that house down there.
There you go. Come on. Come on. Yeah. No, we got to find some investors first, right?
Yeah.
Can't be into that once.
Yeah. You know, so what do you hope Americans can learn from you guys and from Jamaican culture in general?
I just hope we all can learn love.
Yeah.
Love without judgment. Love without judgment. Just really keeping our minds open to getting to know someone before judging. Just like food. You know, you could sometimes see the ugliest plate of food hit your table and you're like, I don't want to eat this. This just looks terrible. Then when you taste it, you're very surprised. That's like a person, you know, that's like food. That's what at least I want people to learn from me, Tanisha, is let us first go through it.
Accept all.
And accept all, love all, go through it first before judging. Then, I mean, try not to judge after, but we're human. We probably will anyway.
Yeah. We do. We all have judgments, you know.
I agree with Sunny to what Americans could learn. I feel like Jamaicans need to learn from Americans too.
Yeah, we all can learn from each other.
Flip, right?
Yeah.
Well, like Sunny said, to just love and to accept and to, because you know when you think of babies, they don't know anything about racism or, you know, they just love.
Right.
That's why God says, "Come to me like little children."
Yes.
Children just love everybody.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to an adult, you're just crazy, right? You just
because of all that trauma. So,
Right.
and just try to release the trauma, give it to God, and experience life beautifully through food and friendships and family.
I know that this is just a learning experience.
You know, and to know that, and as what Jesus says, you know, you gotta love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so we just can't look at people and judge them because we don't know their circumstances.
We don't know their story.
We don't know their stories. We don't know what they're going through. You know, we should just always just show love and be kind to each other.
Yeah. And even if for some reason we mess up and we weren't kind and we weren't showing love, then be kind to yourself. Because only through being kind to yourself, then you can be kind to others. You know, that's something I'm learning for myself. Just be kind to yourself, Tanisha. Everything takes time, patience. Just
America needs back the Bible and pray in school. That's what they need. I mean, if that's what you and I, when it comes to like Jamaican culture, we have a national anthem that is amazing, right? And I think it's the same thing with in American culture.
What is it? Is it Eternal Father, bless our land?
It goes, Eternal Father, bless our land, guide us with
thy
your
mighty hand.
Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defenders, granted through wisdom from above.
Wow.
Justice, truth,
Justice, truth, ours forever.
Jamaica land.
Jamaica land we love.
So America needs to put back their prayers in school because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, put the Bible back in school.
Put the Bible back in school. I mean,
well, you know, when you start taking God away, you know that disaster is going to come in.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has to know that. You know, God give you your own mind for you to do whatever you want. He gives you free will. But you need to know that within that free will, are you free? Are you happy? I don't think so. You may think you're free and happy, but you need to have Jesus. You need to have the Holy Spirit. Know that God, He came, He walked this earth, He died for all of us to save the whole world. He shed His blood. And we all need to come to Him as humble children. You know, I wish the whole world would do that. And then everyone would.
So that's another thing that we're teaching. So that's another thing that I guess we hope to teach the Americans maybe that we come across. Encounter is Jesus. Man, we just want to spread the word of Jesus and serve them good food.
Yes, Jesus.
That's just what it is. And it's up to you to believe or to say, I'm not a believer. Either way, we're not going to judge you. We're just going to say how we feel and let you know what He's done for us in our life. And at the end of the day, we gave you that word. We gave you that taste, right? To fill your palate for the moment. So it's up to you then to fill your appetite.
Yeah, because people are going to, like my mom says, have their own free will.
Yeah.
But what we can do is you can welcome people, you can love people, you can give them a good bite, you know, and hopefully in feeding their physical stomachs, you're doing more.
Right. And people are always like, oh my God, how is the food so delicious? How do you guys just work so hard and don't care? Jesus,
right.
Give us the strength to do it.
Because if I don't have the Lord, I will not be in that restaurant.
No, because restaurant life's not easy. You know, it is.
You have to love what you do, Andrew. And if you do not love what you are doing, you can love what you do, but there comes a time when you feel really tired and burnt out, and all you need to do is just ask God to just give you the strength.
Yes.
But it's few more moments that I'm in this restaurant, then I'll be able to finish what I'm doing. Go home, rest, and the next day you'll come back.
Do it again.
Amazing. You feel so good. You just keep going. You know? Yeah.
I love that word. So another question. It's a question I'd love to ask all of my guests. And you know, I need to put together an episode of all the answers, which I think will be fun. But the question is this: what's the story you want the church to tell?
The church?
Yeah.
So many churches are just going, I don't know. What story will the church should tell? The church needs to be authentic as well.
Yeah.
I think the church also need
stop telling the human story.
Religion creates an issue for I would say I'm Christian, so that would say people would be like, okay, she's religious, right? Because she's Christian. But we're making it too human. It's not a human thing. It's a God thing. It's a Jesus thing.
Yes.
You know, He died for us. So I think the story is we have to keep reiterating. He came, He died, your sins are forgiven, everything's washed away. Right? Therefore, you need to
whosoever believe.
Yeah, should come to the Lord and just lay everything at His feet. I think the issue is we still have this
competition with churches and it's why is God a competition? God should not be. If anything, He's a priority in our life, and He's the person that we look up to, and He's the person that we place on a pedestal, not our church, not the people within the church, because they are human and also still walking in the flesh. And so for me, I think churches need to go back to who is really in charge, which is God.
Exactly.
Yes. I think they're missing that point.
And stop thinking that they're the ones that and that's why I was always afraid to become a member of a church, because it's like, oh, Sister Nyesha, what are you doing over there?
Yeah. Right.
Hold on, give me a hand. So for me to say, hey, it's between me and Jesus, between me and the Lord. I just feel like people sometimes churches can be a little bit too nosy.
So you know what, too, Andrew, within the church, you have the culture also. So it's kind of church and culture usually clash because you grew up in a certain way, the way of your culture. Like us in Jamaica, when you are praising God, you don't just stand. You put your hand in the air. God say you need to come boldly to His throne. Okay, so for me, I don't know how to be quiet when I'm talking, when I'm praising my God who has taken care of me from the day I was born. Listen, when it comes to God, I'm very passionate and excited because I know where I'm coming from. I know how far I came and I know how much He has done for me and still doing for me. I have to praise my God. So the answer is what we need to tell. What was it?
The church.
What we need to tell the church is to remember that God is in control. God is a holy God. He doesn't like mess. No. He's very holy.
And the problem is with churches, we as humans destroy God. Because of
we
all
paint
of
Him in our light.
Our rules and our regulations, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, and but to have that freedom to praise.
Yeah, what were you saying?
No, just to have that freedom to praise. And, I remember, whenever you guys were front and center, you brought a different energy to mountain life just because, us white folk, we don't know how to, we're clapping is hard enough for us,
But the way how I see it is though, Andrew, if you go to like a party and you're dancing, then when you're in church, why can't you do the same to celebrate your creator? It's the same thing as you listening to a live band and like,
the Holy Spirit is your tequila.
Yes.
All right. There's a line worth quote. The Holy Spirit is your tequila. That's a first on the Biggest Table podcast. Thank you, Nyesha. Yeah.
The Holy Spirit is your tequila. It's true because that's the thing. Like when we were in church, we were just so filled with the Spirit. We just felt the light, and I just wanted to burst out and scream.
Yeah,
because,
Stop caring what others think. And if you feel it, just let the movement come through you physically.
Yes.
Just what people think about how you're moving, that doesn't matter. They don't have to take that up while they're in church watching you, making fun of you.
And that's the problem. The church is so worried about other people watching them. Oh my God, he's looking at me. Oh, they're watching me sing. I'm praising. It's like you're just so scared of judgment. We are not scared.
We're not scared of judgment. No way.
No, and that's I think what I've gathered from this podcast, and I hope the listeners gather this too, is your desire just to be authentically who Jesus has made you to be, and to share that with others. And so I think for listeners to take away of like, okay, who has Jesus made you to be, and how are you stepping more authentically into that? Just like Sharon, Nyesha, and Tanisha are doing.
That's what we're trying to teach our kids. And the crazy thing is, the devil is the one that creates that fear and stops you from being yourself.
Yeah, being yourself. Yes.
God wants you to be free. He wants you to live a good life. He wants you to live lavishly. He
a
wants
good
you to
life in Him. Him.
Yes, mommy.
In Jesus.
Yes.
Not to be free in the devil's world.
I never said that. I'm saying when you read the Bible, He wants you to be adorned in pearls and live beautifully.
As long as you're not worshiping it.
But that's the thing too, Mom, that you have to think about. We are sinful by nature. That's the way that we're made. So even though God does not want us to do that, He knows they'll eventually do something like that.
He knows our heart.
Yes, they'll go back to it. But you know what? Yes, I know their heart. And I just feel like as long as you're just trying every day to be a good person, because sometimes we go backwards, man.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Sometimes we go backwards.
You know why? Because there's some people that bring out the demon in you.
It's true.
Want that demon, you got to live above your demon, but sometimes that demon be like, oh,
that demon just creeps right back.
No, it's true. Yep. Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
But if you keep making that demon keep coming back all the time. You're gonna see where the Holy Spirit is gonna talk to you about it, because you're gonna feel bad about that demon crawling, and then you're gonna try. You have to have self control.
For sure. No, and I love it, and again, just that authentic desire to love Jesus, and to spread that love is so, it just emanates from the three of you, and just who you want to be and what you want.
So look at how good at your breed.
And so just some, as we wrap up, some fun questions I love, again, to ask all of my guests. And so if, they're just fun, rapid fire questions. So maybe if we start with Sharon, go to Nyesha, and go to Tanisha, maybe, I'd love to hear what each of you say to this. Is what's one food you refuse to eat?
Let's see what I refuse to eat an alligator.
An alligator.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about you, Meeks? What do you refuse to eat?
I am not eating insects. I don't care how much protein they got and how John ate the locust. I'm not doing it.
You're not doing the locust. Okay, fair enough.
And I'm not going to eat a guinea pig ever again in my life. Because when I went to Peru and we went on a guinea pig farm, the guinea pig tasted the exact same way they smelled on the farm after it was cooked. And so
I bet if I cook that guinea pig, you would.
Oh my! I'm so traumatized. That's not any guinea pig.
Isn't a guinea pig similar to a rat?
I don't know. It was horrible.
Right?
Yeah. It's a big road. Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
No. But
the smell of that guinea pig, same smell when they were cooking in there. And when it came to me on a plate, and I was like, this still smells the same.
Did you eat it?
Out of respect for the culture.
Oh, okay.
At least 25%.
Oh, God, okay.
Wow. Okay. So Tanisha, man, that's the most unique answer I've heard so far, a guinea pig. Any other guests out there, have you eaten a guinea pig, let us know.
If we offend you, sorry, but we ain't eating it.
Okay, so then let's go to the other end of the spectrum. What's one of the best things you've ever eaten?
I love food so much. I feel like everything.
Can you would that eat a guinea pig?
Okay, let's see. What's one of the best food? Okay, I will have to say, within Jamaican culture, for me, I love kidney. A lot of people do not like the cow's kidney. To me, it's one of the best foods if cooked properly.
Yes,
by a good chef. It is one of the best. It's like liver that they puree. What do they call that?
Pate.
It's like pate.
But crunchy pate.
But crunchy pate with a little bit more chew. But I love me some kidneys. So I'm gonna go for them Jamaican kidneys.
Yeah,
beef kidneys.
Yeah, beef kidneys.
Beef kidneys.
Okay.
We'll cook it for you.
I'm down. Again, Tanisha, you win for the most unique answers. The worst thing being guinea pig, and the best thing being beef kidneys. Again.
I love to eat cow skin and the cow foot. We call it cow foot. I love that. It's sticky. It's just gummy. It's delicious.
Come on, let's go.
What about you, Tamika?
And we cook that a lot in Jamaica.
For me, it'll be shrimp forever. Shrimp.
Okay.
Anything shrimp.
Anything shrimp.
Yeah.
Once it's shrimp, she's eating.
Awesome. And then finally, maybe as you think about this as a family, there's a conversation among chefs about last meals. And it's a little morbid, but it's sort of like if you knew you only had one last meal to share with people, what would you have on your table?
Me, cow foot. Yeah.
As a last meal, I would have to throw in more of our traditional dishes for me in Jamaica. First of all, I have to have some pho. So I'm going to name 3 things.
Okay.
Pho would have to be on the table. I'm going to take from the Mexican side too some nachos with
there you go.
Stuff, and then I'm also going to take from my Jamaican side. I need some callaloo and some kidney with some breadfruit. So it's going to be a big table. It's going to have a few things.
Sounds delightful.
If last meal for me probably be a margarita.
If I'm gonna go meet the spirit, I'm going out on spirits.
type of food. I would
No, I
be on
understand.
a plate like her too, with some
Yeah.
margarita.
Margarita. Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. It's always fun to hear. Again, I'm always surprised at what people share. And it's just been a fun question to ask. And so, Sharon, Nyesha, Tanisha, this has been a delight. If people want to learn more about 11 House and your food, and besides from visiting Park City, obviously, if you're in Park City, please go visit 11 House. But where could people find 11 House?
So they can always, if they're in Park City and they Google Jamaican food, we will definitely come up. So, and we're also, you can go to the website, which is 11hauz.com. We're also, they can also get us through Uber, DoorDash, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, Yelp, Google,
Yep.
we've got it all.
Gotcha.
So if you're ever in PC and need some Jamaican food, I mean, you've got your little magical phones here that tell you everything. So just mini computers walking around with. Yeah, just
but once you're in the restaurant, put the phone away and immerse yourself.
Couples coming in, they're on their phone. Like, what do we do? Why are we even coupling? Why?
Yes, I think. Yes, and order more than just the jerk chicken if you visit 11 House.
Oh yeah, and now we have some Jamaican rum punch.
Mm.
You know, there are people that likes their little alcohol.
Yeah, we got our full.
We have a full liquor license, and then
nice.
we can make you some nice Jamaican drink.
Yeah,
awesome. Because I think one of the dishes I've had there once is like a seafood surprise, is it called? Or it was a stew of
treasure. Yeah,
the seafood treasure.
It has the conch and it has the lobster and shrimp.
Yeah.
And that was in a curry sauce. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That one's delightful.
Good. Well, now we don't have conch at this time, but we're trying to get it back in the restaurant.
Okay.
So hopefully I get it back, and so we can continue. Because that's a seafood that's always in Jamaica.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And again, if you are in Park City, please do visit 11 House. There's a lot of great restaurants in Park City, but 11 House is definitely one of those hidden gems. And it's off of Main Street, so you don't have to put up with Main Street traffic and parking.
Right, we're right off the Kimball Junction area.
Right off I-80 in Kimball Junction. And so if you've enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing it with others. Thanks again for joining us on this episode of The Biggest Table, where we explore what it means to be transformed by God's love around the table and through food. Until the next time around the table, take care. Bye.